I'm back home in my little recording cave, which, I mean, you'll know if you watch any of the other videos on this channel, but if you're just here for this series, I'm home. I'm not trapped in Sports Interactive Towers anymore. I've not been there for a week. And we're at home, and we're carrying on the series at home. But before we get into the rest of the video, I did just want to make you aware, if you're watching this video when it's first released, you've got probably 8 hours left to enter my giveaway for a copy of Football Manager 2019, including the beta. I'm giving away 3 copies. Link is down in the description below. Make sure you enter. If you haven't, if you've already bought it, don't bother. But it's there. Chance to win some copies of the game. Winners will be announced Monday morning. Hello and welcome to part 6 of my Bayern Munich Let's Play. I guess it's not my alpha save anymore because we're now playing it on the beta, but the first 5 were on the alpha. Be interesting to see if our form collapses now we've moved from alpha to beta. Perhaps this system only worked on the alpha. Since you were last with me though, there has been lots of shenanigans. Notably, we've spent an awful lot of money. We've spent more money in the January transfer window than I've ever spent in a January transfer window before, and there might still be one more player coming in. Our form is still tremendous. As you can see, we're doing very well on all fronts. We are 3 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga with a game in hand on RB Leipzig. But I was a little bit worried that gap was closing in a little bit. And there you go. You can see there's a spoiler right there on the goal scorers chart. Because I thought, what's a good way to make sure Leipzig don't catch us? I know, we'll sign their 2 best players. So we've signed Forsberg for £33.5 million and Timo Werner for £66 million. We've also made the James Rodriguez deal permanent, £37.5 million from Real Madrid. Plus Alphonso Davies has arrived from Vancouver. He's someone who is, I think he's set to arrive before the game starts. In fact, can we... There you go, we get that on. I imagine someone would have asked by now for me to turn that on. But yeah, Forsberg comes in. Remember, we've got Robben and Ribery, who are both probably in their final seasons at the club. So we need replacements. Forsberg, although he's 27, he's had a very good season for Leipzig and was relatively cheap at £33.5 million. And not only does it give us a player we needed, it takes away one of their more important players. And then Timo Werner had a £66 million release clause. So I admit we didn't need another striker. He comes in as, on star ratings alone, only the 3rd best striker at the club, but that absolutely doesn't tell you the whole story when he's on 20 from 20 just in the Bundesliga, and he has now scored 30 goals in all competitions so far this season. His 2 goals from 2 appearances for us. That's 2 goals from 2 substitute appearances, one of which he came on the left wing and still scored. The man is a goal machine. And we will find a way to get him into the team, even if it's a case of he's 22, Lewandowski is... How old is he? He is 30. So it might just be, you know what, if someone offers us big money for Lewandowski, we go with Werner from now on and make him our first choice. But this is our team that we're putting out there today for the first of 2 games, and this one against Hertha. We are playing without a left-back because they're all injured. I guess, Tolisso can play left-back, I think, but he's not really fit either. And we've got injuries to Kimmich is injured, Alaba is injured, so Rafinha's having to play right back. We do have in fact, we've got the young lad who I'd completely forgotten he existed, but let's bring him back up again. There you go. Wagnerman can come in and play there, which means we no longer have to play Saul, and we can do that, which is good because we all know I've fallen out with Saul, although we should probably put him on the bench somewhere. Whatever. That's the team we're going to play. So we've got Neuer in goal. A back four, Wagnerman, Boateng, Hummels and Rafinha. With Thiago and Goretzka in midfield. Lewandowski up front with Forsberg, Rodriguez and Coman in behind him. It's an impressive looking team. Coman has been injured recently, so he's probably not going to play the whole game, but we've got plenty of options down on the bench to come on if we need them. And Hertha look a little bit afraid of us, which I guess I can understand. So let's passionately say, fully expect you to go out there and win. It's had no impact, but luckily my assistant manager's come in and individually tickled the players and made it so that they're not grumpy anyway. I know I've been playing on direct-to-view on my Chelsea series, if you've been watching that. If you haven't been watching the Chelsea series, you should definitely be checking that one out. I think because we started on sideline view with Bayern, I think we'll just play the rest of this series on sideline view. It it saves the match settings and everything from save to save rather than just on the game as a whole, so I don't have to switch back and forth between the two when I load the game up. So I think we're just going to leave these settings as they were, and this can be the look of the Bayern Munich series, and we'll have the other look for the Chelsea series, and we'll try and work out which one we prefer when it comes towards starting a long-term series on the channel, which will be starting shortly after the full game releases on the 2nd of November. So don't panic if you're here for non-league to legend and non-league football in general. Worry not. There is going to be a new non-league to legend starting early November. I won't guarantee it's going to be launch day, but it'll be within a week or so probably of the full launch of the game. I want to wrap up these two series first. I do plan to play both Bayern and Chelsea to a conclusion during the beta and afterwards if need be. That doesn't necessarily mean I've got a certain number of seasons in mind. I'll play it by ear. If you're getting bored of a series, let me know and we'll bin it off at the end of that season that we're in. If you want me to keep going with the series because you're really enjoying it, I'll do that too. Equally, if we won everything with Bayern this season, Bundesliga, Champions League, what's the point of doing another year? We'll have already done everything and we can just call it a one and done season thing. But I think we're a dominant force in the Bundesliga, and I think with the huge amount of money we've had to spend, we've actually been able to already replace a lot of the areas of the squad that were getting weakened by old men moving on with the players we've been able to bring in for, I admit, a huge amount of money. But when I started the save, we had £500 million to spend. There was a lot of money to be spent. So, I'm not going to complain. It'd be interesting to know if transfer budgets are as generous as this on the beta version of the game, or if it was just Kev got lucky by getting in early. Although, I mean, when I said I was using Bayern, Miles did say to me when we did that tactics video, which if you haven't watched yet, you should, but he said to me when we did that video that I'd have fun with the transfer budget at Bayern, and goodness me, have I had fun. And there's Lewandowski. Surely he finishes. He does, and just before half-time, we grab a second goal. It's his 22nd goal of the season. I actually think Timo Werner arriving at the club has put a rocket up his backside. He has been a lot more proficient and efficient. Prolific, that's the word I'm looking for. He's been a lot more prolific since he's had Werner knocking around in the team as well. I think Muller, although can play as a pressing forward, I'm more likely to use him as a Raumdeuter or as an attacking midfielder. I think he doesn't seem particularly clinical in front of goal in the way that Lewandowski and Werner are, and I think it helps to have the two best strikers in Germany both in the same squad competing for one spot in the team. Imagine if we could find a tactic to put the two of them in together. Maybe drop these wingers. Right, let's passionately say very pleased, because I am very pleased. Hand over to the assistant for the rest of it and get back on with this second half. I probably need to start thinking in terms of making a few changes. We've got games coming thick and fast now. We've got another league game in 3 days' time, and then shortly after, I think we've got a German Cup tie, and then we're into the Champions League starting up again. So we are getting back into a period of 2 games a week. So it's important that we've got the squad depth that we have. I assume the likes of Werner and Forsberg are going to be cup tied for the Champions League. Are Leipzig in the Champions League? They must be. So I assume they're both going to be cup tied for that. So they're very much going to be they're going to start a lot of league games. Werner is going to start a lot of league games if we have a deep Champions League run, because we'll use Lewandowski in the Champions League and Werner in the Bundesliga, which, I mean, it's a nice situation to be in, isn't it? Just have a completely different world class free scoring striker to play in each competition. Right, Koeman's going to come off, and we're going to bring Muller on for him, and we're going to Raumdeuter him up because we like a Raumdeuter. We're going to make Forsberg drop back to support to just balance out that front line a little bit again. In fact, Forsberg might be the man who comes off here because we've got Gnabry, and I do like Gnabry, so I'll bring Gnabry on that side, and Werner can sit on the bench for another 5 minutes, and then we'll make everybody's favourite substitution when we get Werner on for Lewandowski. This time he only gets 15 minutes. He's had 20 minutes in each of the last 2 games. Can he grab himself a goal in just 15 minutes, though, to keep his goal a game record for Bayern going? Corner comes in from Thiago. It's a good save from the Hertha goalkeeper, and it just gets tipped over, and we should have another corner here, but it's from the other side. Thiago again, this time with an in-swinger, and it's straight into the arms of their goalkeeper. 13 minutes for Werner to grab his goal to keep his record going. We're not getting a highlight. Where's the highlight? I fully expected him to come on and score. I should have brought him on the left wing instead of Gnabry like I did in the last game, but I thought you'd all tell me I was silly if I played him out on the left wing. That's it. Sign the top scorer in the league for 66 million quid and play him on the wing. That's some good transfer business, Kev. I can hear you mocking me without even telling you that I'd done it. So, and now I'm telling you I did it in the last game anyway, and it worked because he scored, and he hasn't scored in this one. But we have picked up another win. I think that's 14 games unbeaten now. We're good at Bundesliga, and now we're going to play Leverkusen. We did make one more signing in the end. Lucas Paqueta, Brazilian under-20 international with 5-star potential, or 4-star and an extra star of maybe potential, which people keep telling me doesn't mean 5-star. To me, that's 5-star because he might fulfil all 5 of them once we get to know him a little bit better. But we brought this lad in for £9 million. He was mentioned a couple of times when people were saying, look at Wonder Kids. This one was mentioned as a potential Wonder Kid. Why has he got 2 negatives already? Feels the squad is starting to lack depth. He's been here 3 days. Goodness me. We do need defenders, but we didn't find any bargains. But we brought him in just because he was cheap, and he's a bit of a Brazilian wonder kid, and I can't resist a Brazilian wonder kid. So he's in. And then we've rotated the team quite a lot for this game against Bayer, because as I was mentioning before, we've got games thick and fast, including Champions League against Real Madrid, who we did beat in pre-season, but we need to go in there with a fit team. Interestingly, both Werner and Forsberg have been added to our Champions League squad, so I guess they weren't cup tied, which means we can rotate and use all the players in all competitions and properly rotate this team around. So big changes. The back four is roughly the same. I think it is the same. No, we've brought Saul in to the back four, giving Boateng a rest. I'm now using my shiny new screen like this with my injury risks on. I know injury risk has been in the game since last year. I never really used it because it was never on my screen. Now I'm absolutely using it. So although looking at Lewandowski, he's fully match sharp, high conditioning, but he's got high injury risk. So why play him? Give him a rest. Bring Werner in, who's on a low injury risk, and lower Lewandowski's injury risk as well. It's a marvellous thing. I love the way I've got this screen set up. I'm so happy with it. Right, so midfield is Goretzka and Tolisso. Then we've got Werner up front, starting his first game for Bayern Munich, with Gnabry, Muller and Koeman making up the supporting 3. We do have the big guns down on the bench to come on if we need them, but I'd like to think we're capable of beating any team in this league with whatever we put out there. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to assertively tell him, get out there. We should be capable of winning this game, even though it's slightly rotated. We're having to do it without Lewandowski, really. He's out. I think he's been ever present for us up until this game. So now we've got a player who can come in and adequately replace him in the team. Then that's exactly what we should do a little bit more often to just try and preserve him through to the end of the season. He's getting on now. He's nearly as old as I am, and that's no age for a footballer to be. And when we've got the top scorer in the Bundesliga in our squad as well, then there's no reason for either of them to play every game. It does mean they might not finish 1 and 2 on the top scorers list if they're basically rotating their spot in the side. But, you know, we'll figure it out. I've had 2 good strikers for one position before. Admittedly, what I usually do is play them both. So you might end up seeing some tactical changes, but I can't do tactical changes when we're on 14 games unbeaten because that seems a little bit silly. Just have strength in depth and rotation. Don't change the tactics, Kev. Right, Gnabry, cutting in from the left-hand side, which he has been excellent at doing so far this season. I'm really enjoying Gnabry, who's a player I kind of wrote off at the start of the season. But you know what? He's excellent at that inside forward role on the left-hand side. He is very, very good at it. And Kingsley Coman has picked up yet another injury. That man is forever injured. We've got options to come on for him. We could bring on Forsberg, Rodriguez could go on there. We could bring Lewandowski on and have a front two. I probably shouldn't do that. I think we might bring James Rodriguez on and stick. We'll figure it out. We'll have a look in a second. Right, we should be ahead. We're a better team. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll be fine. Now we're going to make a change to protect Koeman. We're going to bring Muller on, and we're going to get Muller to round Deuter up, which means we want to drop Gnabry back to support, and then we're going to... But I mean, we could bring on any one of these players to play in that position. But I think because we've got a game to win, we'll bring on the best of the bunch. And he can play in behind Werner, with Muller on the right-hand side, Gnabry on the left. Forsberg sat there ready to come on as my next change, probably, for Gnabry. And then if we still need a goal, at that point, we take off Werner and bring on the big guy. As in the one who scores all the goals. Until now. I know what I mean. I did try and sign Tar as well in the transfer window, but they weren't having any of it. But I thought he would be a good option to come in as a younger defender for me to complement. We've really only got 3 centre-backs and I've fallen out with one of them. So we probably do need a third. You know what? I'm going to take off Werner now. I'm going to change my substitution order around because Werner's not having a very good game. Lewandowski can come on, give us 20 minutes, see if that's enough for him to grab a goal. And now we bring on Forsberg. Have I got so many players that I'm fiddling too much and breaking something that's working? There you go. So Forsberg comes on for Gnabry. We've got an elite winger and an elite striker have both come on there. We've got that. I mean, those 3 players we've been able to bring on have got to be, one of them's got to pop up as a game winner, surely. Tolisso across to Goretzka, to James, plays it into Forsberg. There is Forsberg, and that should have been the winning goal. We have had shots upon shots upon shots. Bayer Leverkusen have not had a shot on target in this game. We've been quite wasteful. Somehow we've found ourselves in a situation where we've not been able to find a goal despite dominating a game and trying like 7 different attacking players, none of which have been able to get a breakthrough for us. That was a little bit disappointing. Assertive. You weren't good enough. We should be winning. There you go. That's motivated them. Good stuff. Right, we will end things there for today. Next episode, we're going to be doing some Real Madrid. It'll probably be the second leg of Real Madrid in the next video. I am going to be, for most of the next week, we are going to keep Chelsea and Real Madrid going. Real Madrid, Chelsea and Bayern Munich going. So I can't guarantee 2 videos every single day. There'll be 2 videos most day. There'll be at least 1 video every day throughout the beta though. But just keep an eye out at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock every day. And there'll be videos most of the time, just not always in that 7 o'clock slot. But there should be more Bayern Munich soon. Don't forget to enter the giveaway for FM19 if you haven't already done so. This is pretty much your last chance. I'm drawing that Sunday night. So if you're watching this on Monday, it's too late. They've already gone. But if you are watching this when it first comes out, get entered into the competition. The link is down in the description. But if you have enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.